It seems as if that sense of mission and enthusiasm has rattled Republicans, at least for the moment. And as we covered earlier in the show, Donald Trump and his campaign have suggested that he may not follow through with the debate in September that had been scheduled to be with President Biden. Now, of course, would be the vice president, assuming she does wrap up the nomination as expected. What do you make of that?
It's extraordinary. Tough talk is this guy's calling card. And now there's this extraordinary show of weakness. He agreed to, he said anytime, any place. But more than that, he agreed to this specific debate on this specific network on this specific date. And now he's pulling out. And of course, it shows that he's afraid. It shows that he knows if the two of them are on a stage together, it's not going to end well for him. This is a campaign that really has struggled to be about anything but Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I think that's the bigger pattern that you're seeing here, and part of why the Trump campaign is having such a hard time adapting. Think about it, just in a matter of 2 or 3 days, our campaign adapted to literally the biggest possible change, which is a change in the top of the ticket. And yet, within a couple of days, that support consolidated and that message was clear. They, meanwhile, have been flailing in a way that shows they're unable to adapt. And to me, it's not just that their entire strategic apparatus was built around tearing down Joe Biden. I think there's something deeper, which is Donald Trump cannot conceive of a campaign that isn't about the candidate. We're obviously very excited about our candidate. Kamala Harris is a leader that everybody is pulling together around, but also she's articulating a message that isn't just about herself and certainly isn't just about Donald Trump, although she has that contrast down. It's about us. And that's the kind of campaign that wins. It's the right kind of campaign. And it's also one that literally does not compute for somebody like Donald Trump.
Here's the best part of Donald Trump running scared from Kamala Harris. He obviously made this decision because he knew how much of an unmitigated disaster getting on that debate stage with her would be. And so in an effort to spare himself the embarrassment, he backed out of the debate. And yet now, far from saving himself, he is getting beat up every single day, every single minute, over and over, relentlessly, for not having the spine to remain committed to his previously scheduled debate. This dude is such a tactical disaster that in his effort to protect himself, he ended up injuring himself way more than some debate 2 months down the line could have offered. Bravo, Donald. Bravo. But it actually gets worse, because Trump isn't just getting hit on being too afraid to debate Kamala, rather, his entire shtick is being exposed. This guy's whole political identity is predicated on how tough he was. He's strong, he's a winner, he's a fighter, and yet, when faced with the opportunity to actually back up what he says with actions, suddenly it's crickets from the tough guy leading the GOP. I guess he's only able to be tough from the safety of his Truth Social posts. Donald Trump, the bravest keyboard warrior of our generation. And let's be clear, it's not just Pete Buttigieg who's calling him out.
Now, gang, you could not have a clearer contrast in this race. You could not have a clearer contrast between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Now, let me tell you something. He's pretty afraid. Y'all see, he's backing out of the debate now. He's afraid to stand toe-to-toe with our vice president. And you know why that is? It's not just because she's a skilled debater. It's not just because she's got the right positions on the issues that matter most to the good people of Pennsylvania and this country. It's because he can't run away from his record any longer.
Yeah.
Think about it. 4 years as president. Guy stacks the NLRB with a bunch of corporate folks who have tried to rip away your rights every step of the way. We can't go back to that, and he can't defend that.
The last debate, Martha, happened when both candidates were not their confirmed nominee either. So what has changed is my question. I think the obvious answer is Donald Trump is afraid. He's afraid of this change. He's acting like it. Listen, I'm a combat veteran. I know fear and fatigue when I see it. And he's acting tired and he's acting afraid here. Someone needs to wake him up, and I know he has a hard time staying awake. He fell asleep repeatedly at his own nominating convention. He fell asleep repeatedly at his own criminal trial. Someone needs to wake him up and let him know the next generation of American leadership is here, and it's on.
I look at this race right now, and I don't see a world in which Donald Trump mans up and debates Kamala Harris. The felon is not going to debate the prosecutor. That's just not going to happen. When the question comes around about his 34 felony convictions, what do you think she gonna do? It's just, I mean, really? You want to walk into that buzzsaw in the conversation?
It's actually a pattern, right? They seem very afraid of debating Kamala Harris, whether she was going to be the VP or the nominee at the top of the ticket, right? J.D. Vance also refused to debate her. Now Trump is running scared.
I mean, even Kamala Harris herself got a shot in.
Previously agreed upon September 10th debate. He agreed to that previously. Now it appears he's backpedaling, but I'm ready. And I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage, and so I'm ready. Let's go.
So at this point, I hope the damage that Trump is sustaining is worth it, because it's not like he had anything other than his purported strongman bona fides. And the guy doesn't have a clue about policy, he's got no principles or values or morals, he's a terrible speaker, and his speeches are equal parts sad and confused. All he had was his tough guy vibes, and now those are instantly gone. What's left is a flat, deflated, defeated Donald Trump, a tired guy railing about Hannibal Lecter and windmills and flushing toilets, who knows that he'll fail on stage in front of the whole world, and so he won't even bother trying. Hell, even Joe Biden wasn't too afraid to go on stage, and that debate was a disaster for him. But he showed up, meaning that even the guy who Trump claims is a weak, frail old man is still more of a man than Donald Trump. I'm not sure that's the message that Trump was trying to convey heading into the final days of this campaign, but it certainly is the narrative that he himself has created. So look, I don't know what Trump will ultimately do. Maybe he'll show up, maybe he'll continue to make excuses, but what is clear is that right here, he's doing way more damage to himself than a debate ever could. The Republicans have saddled themselves with the exact thing that they claimed Joe Biden was. Too old, too feeble, too confused, in the throes of cognitive decline, and not capable of winning. Donald Trump has groomed his base into wanting a winner, but that's clearly not what they're getting with the 78-year-old weak convicted felon that they've saddled themselves with. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.